watch any of my videos, you'll see that I pretty much drink a smoothie every single morning because it's just so good and such a good way to get in a ton of healthy benefits right away. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kimmy. If you're new, welcome. I'm so excited to spend the day with you. I share lots of fun, healthy meals, as well as some tips to help you eat healthier and just thrive on your healthy eating journey. Homemade milk with dates and vanilla extract in there. It makes your coffee and your matchas taste absolutely amazing. This one was just almonds. I did water, almonds, 2 dates, and vanilla, a little pinch of salt, and it really does make a huge difference when you add it to your coffee. We're gonna get started on lunch. I pretty much already have my lunch prepped and ready to go, but I do want to do some roasted chickpeas. So I have some chickpeas that I prepped from scratch, and I'm gonna do some roasted chickpeas, and then I'm gonna use the other half to make a hummus. Gavin's gonna have a hummus quesadilla, and we like to have hummus prep just to put on bowls and whatnot. So I'm gonna do some hummus with the rest of the chickpeas at the same time that we do this, but I'm gonna get the roasted chickpeas in the oven first. All right, so for seasonings, I'm gonna do a little garlic powder. I like to season my chickpeas up because I just think that they add so much flavor to a meal, especially like healthy salads. I feel like when you have like roasted chickpeas, they're almost kind of like croutons, and they just make a meal so much better. Oh, I'm using the 24 herbs and spices from Bragg. I love this. And then I'm gonna do some smoked paprika. Add some nutritional yeast too. And I kind of just like eyeball it, but this is about like a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, and then I just kind of sprinkle everything else on. But these come out so good. And then I'm gonna do some cooking oil. As a mom, I feel like there are like several things that I do to make healthy eating more possible, more doable. And one of those is meal prep and having things like just essentials on hand. I personally find that meal prep is very helpful, but for me, just meal prepping essentials as I go throughout the week. So I'll have these roasted chickpeas to add on bowls. I have a kale salad that I prepped on Monday, and now I have it for the week just to have for healthy lunch. I also meal prepped quinoa to be able to toss on. I have tofu prepped and ready to go. So just having essentials that you have prepped and ready to go really does make a difference and makes healthy eating so much more possible, especially around lunchtime when I feel like is the hardest time of the day to be able to get in the kitchen and cook. I'm gonna pop these in the oven. And when I am prepping food, like for instance, I'm using chickpeas to make roasted chickpeas. At the same time, since I already have the chickpeas out, I'm just gonna make a hummus. And doing something like that, I feel like just makes things easier. Another thing that I find very helpful when it comes to eating healthier, especially when you're busy, is having a meal plan. And I feel like ever since becoming a parent, I feel like having a meal plan is so essential to have. I do mine on Sunday, but I feel like having a plan removes so much of the stress throughout the week, and it gives you something to stick to, which I feel like for me helps me eat healthier. I personally love having something to go off of. Like if I know what we're having for dinner, then I know how much time to leave for cooking. 2 other things that I find very helpful for me as a mom to be able to eat healthier is I don't make like separate meals besides lunch. Lunch is the only one that's different just because I like a salad and I'm not gonna give my toddler a kale salad, you know? So that's the only meal that we do different, but like breakfast and dinner, everything's the same. So I never make like separate meals. And I feel like in the morning, like after I've already made his breakfast, I'm not gonna wanna come back in the kitchen later to make another meal because then it's gonna be lunchtime and then it's gonna be dinner, and I just don't wanna be cooking multiple meals. So I feel like if you can get your kids on board to eat the same thing as you, I feel like it makes all the difference. And we just rotate through like the same breakfast. We usually do a smoothie, but sometimes we'll do pancakes, sometimes we'll do oatmeal, and I'll just make it to both of our likings. And I just feel like that makes it so much easier. Another thing that I personally do is we eat at the same time, we eat together. So again, I'm not in the kitchen like multiple times, and I just feel like it's so much easier. Like I don't want to feed him and then come back later and feed myself. Like I'd rather just get it all done at the same time. I did a lemon, tahini, then I'm just gonna add a little garlic powder, some olive oil, and water. Also, if you've never done chickpeas from scratch, they're so much better than canned, and the hummus comes out like so creamy and fluffy, like it's almost like whipped. It's so good. It came out so good. You can use it for a dip with crackers and veggies. You can make a snack plate with fruit and stuff, which is what I love to do for snack time. And then we also use it as a base for quesadillas instead of cheese. Gavin really loves that for lunch. But I have this creamy dressing prep, so we're gonna put this on our salad, but I already have the salad base prepped. And I did kale, pumpkin seeds, cilantro, and red cabbage. And I made about like four servings. And this is just like a simple base, and then you can use it for different salads throughout the week. So you can add different toppings, different proteins, different salad dressings. That's another thing that I feel like makes healthy eating more enjoyable, especially when you meal prep things. Find different ways to use your meal prep. Like if you have roasted veggies, you can have them with rice one day. You can have them on your salad the next day. Just a lot of simple ways to make healthy eating more doable and just more enjoyable, so it's not so stressful and boring. I'm gonna do a little avocado. Besides the chickpeas, but even prepping those, I feel like took a couple minutes to do. They just had to bake in the oven. But by the time I finished making Gavin's meal, they were ready. So this really only took me a couple minutes to put together to make it look pretty. But also fresh herbs have so many detoxifying benefits, so I love to add them on there. But like, can we just talk about how gorgeous this is? Who wouldn't want to eat this? This is so good. And looking at this, you would think that I spent like so much time working on this, but I really only spent a few minutes on it. And now I have a nice, healthy, delicious lunch. And I'm not just eating my kids' scraps or anything like that, because that's not filling, that's not satisfying and enjoyable. So, yeah. After lunch, I took my supplements. I finally found a routine that makes me feel more energetic and supports my gut health in the best way possible. I will link everything I take in the description. Then after my bar workout, I had a homemade snack, which was these Almond Joy bars. Ever since I started prepping homemade snacks, we very rarely eat packaged snacks. It's a game changer for minimizing your intake of processed foods. Then I prepped dinner. Tonight, I made one of my go-to creamy veggie pasta dishes. It's a simple, healthy dish that comes together in under 20 minutes. Basically, you just boil your pasta. Then while that cooks in a separate pan, you want to saute whatever diced veggies you have in your fridge with garlic, oil, and salt. Then you want to make a creamy sauce. You could also do cream if you consume dairy. I like to make a cashew cream with cashews, water, salt, and fresh lemon juice. I will say that I tried to cut corners this day and do cashew butter instead of whole cashews, just so I wouldn't have to use a blender. But honestly, it just wasn't the same. I think my water and cashew ratio was off. Then you pour the sauce over the veggies and pasta and toss. It's so good. It's a meal my whole family actually loves and enjoys. I also topped it with my homemade vegan Parmesan, and that was it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.